Hello and welcome to a new topic, types of characters. So let's first talk about what do we mean by characters. Characters are the people or animals in the story. That's very much clear. Readers come to know about characters through what they say, what they speak, what they express, what they think, what they observe, what they believe in, and how they act, how they behave, what is their attitude, and so on. Continue. Types of characters. Basically, there are two types of characters. The first one is flat characters, and the second one is round characters. Now let's talk about origin of two types of characters. E.M. Forster, an English novelist, identified that characters are either flat or round. So the origin of the identification of these two types of characters goes back to E.M. Forster. We have some more ideas. E.M. Forster coined the terms flat character and round character in his book The Aspects of the Novel in 1927. So he is the man who invented these two terms in the context of novel. We continue. Now let's talk about meaning of flat characters. Flat characters do not play important roles in the stories. It means that in the stories, flat characters are not very important, are not very significant. They don't occupy higher place. Next, they often have only one or two traits with little description about them. That is to say, flat characters generally have one or two traits, one or two qualities, characteristics, and the writers don't give maximum description to their personalities in the story or in the novel. We continue. We have some more ideas about meaning of flat characters. Flat characters have little or no complex emotions, motivations, or personality. Briefly, we can say that flat characters are not very complex. Continue. They also don't undergo any kind of change to make them more well developed. So flat characters are also not well developed. We continue. Flat characters are also sometimes referred to as one-dimensional. They are not multi-dimensional, multifaceted, and they have just one aspect, one way of living, one way of talking, one way of dressing, one way of influencing upon the readers. Now we continue with some more ideas about flat characters. So, qualities of flat characters in brief. Flat characters will typically have no internal conflict, conform to a stereotype. A stereotype means that their roles are fixed, not changing, never experience character development. So flat characters, they don't go through the process of development, lack a multifaceted personality. So they have just one type of role to play, lack depth. So flat characters don't have depth in their actions, in their behavior, in their attitudes, and maintain one perspective or viewpoint. In brief, we can say that flat characters are very easy to be identified and also very easy to explain. Now let's talk about examples of flat characters. Mrs. Bennet in Pride and Prejudice, written by Jane Austen, is one of the best examples of flat character. We have one more example. Mrs. Micawber in David Copperfield, written by Charles Dickens, is another best example of flat character. Mrs. Poyser in Adam Bede, written by George Eliot, is another best example of flat character. So these are some of the best selected examples of flat characters in novel writings. We have many, but I have just taken a few in order to let you know what are the examples of flat characters. Now let's talk about round characters. Meaning of round characters. What does it mean? On the other hand, the round characters play an important role, often the lead roles in stories. So the leading roles played by someone in the story are referred to as round characters. They are very important, very significant. They have a lot of power. They are complex, dimensional, and well developed. So they are not easy to explain. We have to go deep into the psychology of the characters to narrate, to express what roles they play and in what way they influence us. We have some more ideas. They are fit to surprise the reader in a convincing way. Normally, round characters have the capability to surprise the reader at the end because of the complexity, because of the roles they play, and because of the influences they carry in their stories and in the novel. We have some more ideas about round characters, that is to say, meaning of round characters. They often change by going through a life-changing experience as the story unfolds. So, round characters, the name itself suggests round. Round means going around. That is, in another way, refers to being complex. So, round characters, they go through a life-changing experience. That is to say that sometimes they come across an event in the story where that incident becomes a source of change for that character in that novel or in that story. They pass through crucial events. They go through challenging moments in the story. They face hardships. They go through untoward incidents. They face untoward incidents. They come across untoward incidents. And that is why they are remembered by the reader in connection with those scenes. And that is one of the reasons why round characters, because of their complexity, because of the challenges they face, readers come to know about them for a long time in their memory because of the certain scenes in which they play those significant roles. We have some more ideas about qualities of round characters in brief. Round characters will typically have multiple aspects to their personalities. They have multiple roles to play, multiple shades of actions they have in their stories and novels. Rich in qualities and abilities, and they are very rich in qualities, abilities. They can perform a number of tasks with ease and with comfort and face all types of challenges in order to overcome the evil ones in the story. Have potential to change the storyline, and they, as they progress, as the personality of the round characters progresses in the story, they have the potential to change the storyline as well. Face challenges and conflicts. No need to explain, it's very much clear. They are very brave, they don't fear, they change the course of actions, facing all types of hardships in their story, and are either likable or despicable. Whether you like the round characters or whether you dislike the round characters, it depends upon the type of a story it is, but sometimes you may like them, sometimes you may dislike them. In whatever way you appreciate them, that is the point to say that they are the round characters, because they have a lot of actions to play in their story. Now let's talk about examples of round characters. Elizabeth in Pride and Prejudice, written by Jane Austen, is the best example of round character. We have one more example. Harry in Harry Potter, written by J.K. Rowling, is another best example of round character. And Anna Karenina in Anna Karenina, written by Leo Tolstoy, is another best example of round characters. So Elizabeth, Harry, Anna Karenina, these are the complex characters. They are not easy to be understood, easy to be explained. They go through different stages in their life, in their struggles, in their ambitions, and that is why we call them round characters. Hope you understand the concept. Thank you and goodbye.